as you can see, we are not in South Florida anymore. This is what it looks like out here in beautiful Red Rock Park. Got a lot of snow last night. What I want to do in this video is talk about the ReadyLift Leveling Kit, because I got a lot of questions about it. I'll still do it today. So I have all the questions right here. I've had the leveling kit on now for 20,000 miles, and I want to share my experience with it, the problems I've had, if any. I did have some issues in the beginning and how I solved those and what I needed to do to fit the 35 tires on here. We've talked about this before, but it's worth an update. So let's head out in the snow and have a look at the truck first of all. Love the truck so far. I mean, so far it's been 20,000 miles, so I think I'm still gonna love the truck after I don't know how many miles, but so far no problems at all with the truck. I really haven't had any issues with any of the modifications either. So as you can see, the ReadyLift Leveling Kit sits right here in the front. You see them right there. So you have the control arms is what you get with this as well. So I didn't want to do the hockey puck thing that you put on top of the strut, because I've heard some bad reviews about that it's going to mess up with the CV joints or something like that. So I wanted to have a proper leveling kit on the truck, and ReadyLift was the way to go in my opinion. So it raises the front end by 2 inches and it keeps the rear end just like it is, it's stock. So the Rebel, as you know, comes lifted from factory. You have a 1-inch lift in the front and the back. So that means that effectively, I think there was a question about that right here. So with the leveling kit, you don't lose the stock 1-inch height. So your 2 level would mean 3 lift total in the front end. Yes, that's correct. So in the front end, you would have a 3-inch lift compared to a stock Ram 1500, for example, but not a Ram Rebel. Then you only have the 2-inch lift because it's already lifted an inch from factory. So I wanted to fit the leveling kit because I wanted to fit the 35-inch tires. So my tires are 35 by 12.5 are 20s, 20-inch wheels, fuel Rebel wheels. As you can see, bronze. I think bronze worked well with the black exterior. It's extremely dirty right now because a couple of days ago we drove up to Vail, and you go through you climb up to like 12,000 feet, and it was kind of almost like a blizzard up there, and then you melted and it got all wet and gross, and it splashed all over the truck. But I think it looks pretty good dirty as well. So the leveling kit, the issues I had when I first installed it was, as you know, when you lift up the truck, you're gonna have a different ratio for the steering column. So the steering wheel is gonna be off center. So what you need to do as quickly as possible is obviously go and get an alignment, because you wanna get that sorted as quickly as possible. And once I sorted that out, because when you drive it with the steering wheel off center, it's gonna set out some warnings. It thinks the truck is in a constant drift, and that's no good because you don't want to have those warning lights shouting at you in the dashboard. So I went to get an alignment, and before I had the alignment done, there was some knocking and some creaking when I was turning. You could hear almost like old joints cracking in the front end suspension. I was worried that was gonna last because of the leveling kit. But after the alignment, I also told them to just tighten all the bolts that is connected to the new parts, and they did that at the shop. And after that, I haven't had any noise whatsoever. I don't have the air suspension on this truck. I don't really see, honestly, I don't really see the reason why to get the airlift. Well, I haven't driven one with airlift, but the comfort of this, you know, I don't need it to be any more comfortable than this already is. It feels super comfortable even with the leveling kit on there after 20,000 miles. So to fit the 35-inch tires, as I've said before, there is a little bit of cutting you need to do, and you can see the cut right about here. This cutout in the plastic, I had to cut that out on both sides, but that's about it. If you want to fit 35-inch tires on your truck, well, if you're gonna have a Ram 1500, I'm not sure if a leveling kit is gonna solve that issue. You might have to raise it up 1 more inch, so 3 inches in the front and 2 inches in the back. But if you have a Rebel, that's all you need. You just need a leveling kit to fit these tires. And I have a -18 offset. As you can see, they sit pretty nicely, right just a little bit out from the body, and that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have them stick out too far because I don't like the look of that. You can see on this side as well, I had to cut the plastic here, so no metal cutting or something like that. You can see it right, I think this is a better angle probably, right there. That cut in the plastic, that's all you need to do. And after a while, that got loose. After maybe 10,000 miles, the liner got loose again, so I just tied it down with a zip tie into the metal itself, and I haven't had an issue for the last 10,000 miles. So I'll say the next question here. The Rebel looks amazing. Thank you. I just purchased the Rebel and found your video because I'm looking to the same level combo tire. I live in a building with a parking garage, and I was wondering if you knew exact height of the truck. I have a few inches to spare. You would be able to help out. Thank you in advance. I'm looking forward to seeing you around South Florida sometime. Well, that's not gonna happen because I'm not there anymore. But regarding the height of the truck, so I've been into standard garages, like parking garages, and it is a little sketchy to go in there, if I'm honest. Sometimes we have this much clearance. From now on, I don't go in parking garages because I had a traumatic experience once. There was a pipe going lower than what was advertised in the entrance of the garage, and I had to back up all the way back and block traffic, and everybody was pissed at me, so I'm not doing that anymore. If you have this leveling kit, I would suggest maybe not. Try to avoid parking garages as much as possible because it's not fun when you get stuck and have to piss off a lot of people just to reverse or not be able to have the space to make a turn and go around. So that's the answer I have for you in that part. You always check, you can always measure the height and see what they say in the parking garage that the height is, but I'm not doing that anymore personally. All right, one more question here. Would I have to level out the Rebel for those wheels and tires to fit comfortably, or would they fit as is being stock? So that's what we just talked about. You can't fit 35-inch tires on a stock Rebel. I don't believe you can do that because I had to cut some of my plastic in the fender, as I just said, with it being leveled. So being 2 inches lower in the front, you might be able to do it, but I'm assuming you're gonna have to do a lot of cutting if that's the approach you want to go and not level it. But I think overall it just looks better leveled. You know, when you have the same height in the front as you do in the rear, now it looks like the rear is maybe a little lower than the front, but it also might have to do with how we're parked. It's not leveled here, but I'm super happy with the truck. And if you want any of these accessories or mods I've done to the truck for your truck yourself, I've listed all the mods that I have on the truck down in the description, so go and check that out. Even the wheels, I think, maybe not the tires. The tires were really hard to get when I looked last, but the wheels and everything else is listed down in the description. My hands are very cold. I'm gonna jump in now and head home. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.